Hi, come on in. We're here to scry Swimming Through the Void. Here's the ink blot made in your name and essence if you want to take a screenshot. So you can scry in your own time and turn for shapes or symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. I want to thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. This rorschach in a reading truly is in reciprocity for what you do in your readings for Capricorn specifically. So in gratitude for being you, thank you. All right, and I'm going to explore. I'll add on some tarot and oracle along the way. Sometimes I add on the spirit box, but I just did a lot of readings with it, so I'm gonna let the spirits rest quietly for now. All right, when you're ready, let's take a moment to release the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Let's go. Thank you. Okay, so I'm seeing up here. Oops, I'm right up here. And see like arms. And it's like with like gray hands. And there's this like mask spider. I think it's a spider I'm seeing. Anyway, it's almost like a Prince Charming is kind of what I'm sensing. Some sort of Prince Charming, you know, if I was in like a fairy tale and like the prince would have some white, I don't know, some sort of white flowy shirt on. That's how I'm seeing it. But there's some sort of like mask that is, I think it might be invisible. And I'm not even saying mask in the typical way I'm saying mask. It feels more like a magician's mask. And it brings me into something else that's kind of floating around. And so I will say it as it's stepping forward, like a ceremonial mask or ceremonial magic. And that inspiration of an insight may or may not resonate. But I'm seeing this Prince Charming feel. And I don't know, well, I don't know how that resonates, if at all. I'm going to keep moving down here if you don't mind. So I feel like I'm in... I feel like I'm in a black lotus that has red and very specific hue of purple and pink. What is this? What is this hue? I feel like there is a word for it, possibly indigo, Hi, how are you? But it's almost like a deep red wine. And it's in here is where I'm at. And it's almost like I've re-risen. I don't know if you've been through some things that, like dare I say, like, you know, blood being spilt or blood, sweat, and tears along that lines. I feel like you're tethered into something. I don't know if I'm seeing it from a past place. It doesn't matter. I'm not concerned about the timeline. I'm going to authentically share what I'm seeing. So I am like right in here, right in this detail up here. I'll add on some tarot and oracle in a moment. So I feel like I'm in the Shadowlands. Okay, so I don't know, but then there's this one being at least that has, I kind of still feel like I'm in some sort of fairy tale for some reason. And that's, I feel choked. Yeah, like it makes me want to, okay, just hold on. Somebody is of pure heart. And this is what I mean by like that whole fairy tale, aside from the Prince Charming thing. Somebody is of pure heart, or something about like the bloodline. And I don't know if there's because of this anyway, I'll follow that other rabbit hole another time. It attracts shadow people. And I don't even want to give the shadow people a bad name. It's like I have compassion for that. Not even compassion like in a, oh, like I understand. And like they gravitate in towards this pure person sitting. And if I may, and this is like way, way, way fine in the detail right there. They are sitting in a traditional meditative posture, and it looks like an acorn or a bell. An acorn or a bell. Like the shape of my vehicle, my vessel, is in the shape of a bell or an acorn. Maybe those symbols mean something to you as well. I don't know. Okay. I'm seeing like really, really soft petals. I'm still in the lotus land, but these are, I feel like I can feel petals of something, like really, almost like a velvet. Almost like a velvet. I'm also seeing lips talking, but there's an like lip liner in black, but the lips are either natural or red, like with red lipstick, and it's kind of running out. And you know what's interesting? As I just said that, I'm also seeing the top of the lip as the top of a heart, like, you know, the little boop boop, like that being the top of a heart. I don't know if you've like been through, I almost want to say, okay. Greet the darkness. Here is on the bottom. Here where the spine bends and the mouth quivers, breathes the hidden, the pieces that make you whole but cut deep with all of their sharp edges. Oh, and right beneath that is silence. And see how she's sitting, not quite in the bell acorn, but same thing. And then I went into silence. All Hallows Eve. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiving howl as you stomp your might through the ground. Okay, it's like you were, I don't know. I'm simply sharing the story in which I'm seeing you might have these shadow lotus, like they're still of lotus. Anyway, they might have tried to seduce you in like this masterful way of camaraderie. What am I seeing there? I can offer, I feel like I'm being offered things. And maybe you did take it for a while. Maybe you did. I don't know. Sorry, I can see that reflection. But it's like at some point, and you greeted this darkness because you know it. It comes into like that magician mask. It's like learning how to do anything. Like you want to look at the totality of it, right? So you're not favoring one or the other. It's like I want to learn how to use this as well for my overall mastery. But this like seductive shadow lands of lotus, whatnot, tried to like confirm it, but you did something different. At some point in time, you sat in silence. And interestingly enough, she has a pumpkin back there. And I know it's not red like the lipstick, but it is bringing me into that. It's like you paused on this, like being on stairs, like going up or down. And you just paused midway. Silence. All Hallows Eve. And that's when brought the stirring of the gray. I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm feeling it. If I'm going to move down because I feel like I've already been yammering on. I haven't even left the top of your ink blot yet. Majestic. Masterful and Majestic. And if I can remember that, I'll try and throw that in the title. Okay, Golden Chariots came in at some point in time. Maybe this is when I'm sitting on the stairs. And I was in that silent space, undecided. Maybe it was just a matter of making a decision. And that's okay. But I'm sitting there. And then these light chariots come in. And they're coming in And when I say dark, I almost want to say dark armor. And I'm not getting all mixed up in the, dark is bad and light is good. No. I'm not looking at typical topical surface stuff, because there are like fine threads of harmony. Misuse and abuse. Misuse and there might have been something with a father somewhere. I don't know if something happened to your father figure, or the relationship was particular complicated, something along that lines. Anyway, so I'm back in the dark armor, and I don't mean to like so anyways, but I don't want to get stuck too long. Okay, the comment, thank you. Even better. Oh my goodness, I love the way this is all coming in. Okay, so when I was talking about like the light coming in, I want to insert this card here, and I want to insert this card here. Okay, so the comet and the moon voyage, I understand my fingers are in the way. That chariot vibes. And I was sitting on the stairs, and like a comet is of light, and this moon voyage is of gold. Like the intuition, like something. And I understand the intuition was already there. But it's like you knew you learned something, so you were done. But I don't know. There's something I can't tune into over there, but I see it in here. Anyway, the Two of Engines, and there's a plugging in. Oh. Do you know what I'm seeing is like, I'm assuming this is symbolic of something. And maybe it's over lifetimes, incarnations, parallel and cosmic, earthly, all of those words being whatever you want them to be. And I have like this thing, and there's like different jewels with it that represent something. And each kind of adventure you take, you I don't know, it's like having a stone and you hold information in it, or understandings, and you can plug it into this thing, and it gets things turning. There is a man with you. I believe he's in spirit. That's why I was asking you about the father figure. Like, it could be complicated simply maybe because he is in spirit. Or it could just be a prominent male figure from when you were growing up. And that's like the shadows. If there was any state of grief when you were younger, in anyone passing, and it could have just brought in a whole lot of grief at one time. Okay, Messenger of Submersibles is here as well. This makes me feel, oh my God. Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Messenger of Submersibles. See, also like a mother is coming through, parents in some way in general, whether their spirit is currently incarnate or has moved on to the afterlife. I feel like you do have parental figures around you in different ways, shapes, or forms. But I feel like there's somebody else that kind of watches over you, or watches you, if you know what I mean. I don't know. Maybe it's from the shadow, from the shadow space, like a time before. You know, when like people have experiences in life, you're like, well, was like a whole other lifetime in this life. But somebody still may pay attention. Anyway, sorry. Messenger of Submersibles, Lady of Leviathians, and Captain of Engines. Okay, so I'm sliding in down here at the bottom. Messages move quickly. Move quickly, move quickly. Sorry, give me 2 shakes here. I've got something in the background going on. Apparently I need many layers of sight. Okay, so that's like the main submarine. I don't know if at some point in time you moved on from like a predominant family unit, or what could be like perceived as a family unit, whether it is, blood or friends, etc., or even work. You might have left something really quickly because, again, where those chariots are, I'm seeing this messenger come in, right, like tie right in, and it brings me down really quickly into this more of emotional water, into it, where I'm looking for new opportunities with this Lady of Leviathans. And that's where that took me, like following that intuition of the moon voyage. Moon being more in the dark, of the night of it, just different landscape. And at some point in time, I became my own capitaine. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this in a really nice way, not in a nasty way. Like, spirit works for you. Now, I should say works with me is how I want to say it, because I have an understanding. But it's almost as if there were, see how like they're like red-eyed back there? If there were any spirits at some point in time through, I'm going to say like the Black Lotus land, that part of your life, or maybe it's just a part of your spiritual journey. I could be in a whole other lifetime, I don't know. If any of them like did you dirty, or did you wrong, or misjudged, or I don't know what it is, okay? I don't know what it is. It's like their spirit, alive or afterlife, work for you now in service. It's a positive thing. It feels like of service. Okay. So I'm coming into like these, and the messenger of submersibles brought me right into the waters here. I'm seeing a very large pair of scissors. I mean, like gigantic. Like, here's where the little hands would be, and chop, chop. That's where those would be. Possibly at some point in time, you severed a lot of, or cut ties. Because I'm seeing like in that shadow space up there, not the lotus one, like kind of like your armor, your dark armor, because this is, you know, a thing. And it brings me into like Mandalorian when he changes armors, like with different metals. And anyway, this is the way I have to say it if you're not familiar. Yeah. So, and like way in here, it's like I can see that helmet. Like a helmet, like a Mandalorian helmet, or I actually see it also as an angry bird when it was an armor, but that armor changed or transformed when these light chariots of the moon voyage and the messengers all came in, as above, so below, as above in the moon in the dark, and so below in the waters of the blue, of empathic feeling, emotional, ethereal energy. It's there, it's there. Somebody was waiting for you to cut cords or cut ties with people, places, or things, possibly even beliefs in and of yourself, or things that had been adopted along the way. There was like this little, he's right in there. He's reminding me of a cartoon from when I was a kid. It's not his character, if I may, but he's like a dog with a droopy, like, anyway, but he's like smelling the roses. Like, he paused. For him, it was like stopping to smell the roses till you decided and cut particular chords or contemplations, and stepped into your consciousness with the Mandalorian armor upgrade, I'm going to say for simplicity's sake. And you begin to write a new story, start a new story. You know, when I was a kid, there was like a spiral graph thing, like you would stick your pen in it, and there was all like these different shapes and figurines, so geometry might be a big thing, or something along that lines. Because now I'm in like consciousness, ethereal energy. It's very kind. I feel like you're very kind. Yet, if I may, thank you, there's still a growl. You know what I mean? Like, even your scissors have smaller scissors. Like, you'll find, and I can see, like, I'm watching a little movie. Let's see if I can do this. Like, here in the big scissors, and like I'm down right in here. It's like you can see all these creatures like running away. Like, no, we're being cut off. We're being cut off. I'm also seeing an older version of Elvis. something about like rhythm and blues, rhythm and blues. You might have rhythm. You might have the blues. Maybe music gets you through the blues. So like, and not in this angst to always keep my vibration high, but a particular maintenance, right? Because there is this magician thing happening here. There is this understanding of alchemy, and sometimes when you're low or blue, you can use that to your advantage to feel that, to remember to connect to that, and like waft in those waters and enjoy bringing it back up with music. Like just that elevation is uplifting. It's uplifting is how it feels anyway. All right, sorry, I got distracted here. That's when I was talking about like the magician part of you. I don't know if that will come through. There we go. Like there's a bunch of eyes in there. I don't know if it comes through. Anyway, these are chaos cards. I adore them. I had already taken that. Ooh. Okay. And there we go. You might have 2 to 3 children. I feel like one of them has a, this sounds weird, has a brain like you. I don't know what that means. Maybe it has a particular gift or sees things. Like the third eye raven from Game of Thrones, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to flip it to win it. Just as I was about to flip it, what I saw previously as your arms, I saw 2 other beings sitting with you. I feel like you have like two very prominent guardians, spirit guides, if I may, that they're kind of like on either side of you. Almost monk-like, but not monks in orange. They're monks in white robes. Okay. I have flipped it to win it. If I didn't say that already. Like, share, subscribe. If I didn't say that already. Links below to how to cow grow. If I didn't say that already. Sovereignty. Did you have to fight for sovereignty of your soul? Is that what that Shadowland thing was? I don't know if there was like some bloodshed or what was going on. Focus won't leave the bottom either. You were quite focused. Or at least that's how I'm feeling it, being in your aura. Okay. I am seeing mermaids doing yoga poses. I love it. Could be a version of a bow pose. Bow. Yeah, it's bow pose that they're doing. I feel like I'm in water. There's like seaweed. I feel like I apologize if I kind of got lost there. I feel like I'm seeing with empathic glasses on top of my own. So it's a lot. But it's so fun. There's so much kindness in these eyes. I don't know if you see the world with kind eyes because you've seen it with non-kind eyes. And I don't... I feel like you've seen some despair. On the bottom there, we have shadow. Depth. Remember when I was talking about those white roby spirit guides? service. But you've got fire. Sovereignty of the soul, freedom again. You might even be able to conjure things. I feel like you're very kind and calm, but there is a hidden... It's almost like it's hidden in plain sight. And for those that see it, it doesn't... It's, you know, in that whole thing, well, if you see it, that's a reflection of you. And I understand that. I almost want to say if you're qualified. Like others who have had to fight for their soul in a particular way, or have like a particular school of thought or teaching, some sort of teaching. Your shadow showed you the light. If the light would have just stepped forward, it would have been too bright. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? I once met this gentleman. Sorry if I'm going to yammer on. I will try and close out within a decent amount of time, not take up too much of your time. In gratitude for your Capricorn videos, of course, this is what this is for. It's like you're reminding me of somebody I met, oh my goodness, maybe a decade ago now. And when I first saw him, we were at a gym for yoga class. I was teaching, and he was coming through. And because of like all the mirrors, I couldn't... Okay, so I was like viewing from the mirror, like, oh, hey, come on in, everybody. And then I turn, I could see through the mirrors. So when I'm looking through the mirror, I couldn't, like, his face was not there. It was black. And that's kind of what it's reminding me of, like a black hole of the void. And when I get all void, it's not scary. And ironically, it's bringing me into your name, swimming through the void. There was this void, like a cosmic black hole that could take you almost wherever. I don't know how to say that linguistically in the language that I know. But maybe, hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. So I remember when I was like, when I saw him in where he took his seat, and I was like, you have no face. But when I looked at him in person, I saw his face, and I'm like, but you have no face there. He was very, but again, like the way he looked in his demeanor. Anyway, it was a very interesting thing to see that. It has the same kind of feeling, like either you've been through some stuff, or it's a way to ward off others who empathically sense that, to say, please don't, please don't ask me about that. I don't know. Anyway, that's what it's reminding me of. So it feels familiar. In this quick moment, it feels familiar. And maybe it's with those glasses on. Okay, I'm going to travel down. Oh my goodness. I have like, seriously. Okay, we're going up there. Shaman cards. Thank you. Okay, have you ever seen the show Legion? And in the show Legion, there's something about like healing. Sorry, I will get back to that in a moment. It's almost like whatever your eyes go to, like where your attention goes, energy flows and all that kind of great stuff, wherever you actually look, especially with these specific glasses on, heals. Like it ignites healing. Does that make sense? Like like your attention is healing. Okay. Hunter of Gifts. It could be one of your gifts. Could be one of your gifts. There's a lot of different kind of creatures here. So give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. There's somebody waiting. I feel like I'm watching a video game like Final Fantasy or something like that. It's some sort of adventure game. And you know, you can see a character when the person's offline and they're just waiting there. Like that's their character, and they might have like their satchel and whatever the case may be. That's what I feel like I'm seeing. It's like, I don't know, when you go offline, there's still like a signature of your energy somewhere. Maybe you play video games. I have no idea. And that's okay. I'm seeing some sort of lace shawl, which could be of either like widow or grief in general, like a grief shawl. Grief. Because there's somebody in spirit stepping forward here. They work in like the gold. Might have been like a poet. I don't know if you're a poet, songwriter, something along that lines. Like if you channel particular song, shaman of song, music. Sorry, did that come through? Oh, for heavens and hot dogs. There we go. Shaman of song. Yeah. I don't know if it's you with music or the spirit sends you music, you channel music. I don't know what it is. But there's something about that. Like the poetry, writing music, writing poems, songwriting, ancestor of protection. And I also want to slide that in when I was talking about that spirit in the gold. Like I want to slide the tiger in. I don't actually know if it is a tiger, but I'm seeing it as a tiger. 100 of Gifts. Like it's all in there. It's all, for me anyway, the way I'm seeing it. The light there, 100 of Gifts. Gift also being a songwriter, even just your words, speaking. Hunter of Abundance. Very protective over something. And suddenly I'm putting like something together here. I'm putting something together. I don't know if it's like my next of kin. Of course people are protective, but it's like it's not even about I don't want them to go through what I went through. It's like a teaching so they aren't driven by curiosity, like I'm actual knowledge. But it's also like something about the sovereignty of the soul as well, to ensure, like to teach them that. Okay, I'm getting ready to close out here, and I'm going to come into the bottom here. I am going to say, like, at Knight of Cups, yeah, there's people that still keep an eye on you. And I feel like these are both divinity, of the divine, and of dense human nature. You're looking for ahead to something. What am I seeing up ahead? Swimming through the void. I'm building something rib by rib, bone by bone, wishbone by wishbone that is being granted. And it's like that I'm taking those wishbones and I'm creating something like not even the wishbones are wasted. The Tower, every change is to my advantage. Dude, you could be like a mad scientist, I'm telling you. 7 of Pentacles and the Moon again on the bottom. 10 of Cups. Right behind it. Oh my heavens and hot dogs. There we go. The High Priestess is also underneath it. Don't worry about it if they're upside down. And heartbreak. You really might have lost somebody, if not 2 people of the parents. They're blatantly still around you. Okay, I'm going to check out this poker hand and the last little bit of your ink blot. So thank you so much for being my muse. There's change. There's change somewhere along the lines that happened. The moon, the high priestess, 7 of pentacles. I feel like at least 2 to 3 kids, if you don't already have them. It's almost like, if I may, the tower in the traditional way, but like it's giving me those, like that's the change that has happened, right? That's how I'm feeling it. Every tower was to my advantage. That's how I'm hearing that very clearly. I mean, I would have felt it like it at the time, but that's like what I learned. Every tower was to my advantage, and every wishbone I was not wasted. But now I'm seeing it's like this tower, like I'm building it, like I want to say like empire and legacy, and those are all great words. Okay, but I'll share with you with what I actually think I mean by that. So way back in the day, and I say way back in the day, I have it somewhere in a scribble. No, that's not the book. Okay, so I drew like this apartment building, lots of windows all over it. Okay, so same idea, lots of windows all over it. And what in that moment, what I moved through was, and each of these windows in this apartment building was a version of me existing in some way, shape, or form, in any timeline, any dimension. I had put no limits onto it. It was just a curiosity of consciousness I was willing to connect to. And it's almost like the landlord of the living, of my living, was viewing in on the conditions of our overall tower. It's like, you know, like if it was a really fancy like Trump Tower or something like that, right? And I was suddenly very aware that all of these versions, concepts of me existing, did have a way to communicate to each other, and they could communicate. They were housed in some sort of Akashic apartment building of sorts. That was the way I interpreted it. Okay. So that's what it's making me feel like. And I don't know if in any way or shape or form, it's not even needs to be helpful, but that's how it makes me feel, of like a particular awareness, like this high-rise apartment building, this tower is being built for not only for all the versions of you, self, soul, and spirit, but it's like the sovereignty of working with all of your, and the sacredness of all of your energy, conscious energy, attachments, you know what I'm saying, and connections. So it's like the main home, your main Akashic apartment building is, or empire, legacy for your children, next of kin, all your connections. It's always being built. It does feel mad scientist like. So but I'm digging it. I totally dig it. Like I feel like there's a part of you that's either like mad scientist, or like said below before, especially with the moon there, and inspiration of like ceremonial magic or some sort of conscious conjuring, especially with the high priestess, 7 of pentacles, the moon, and 10 o cups. That poker hand, right? I don't know if there's a partner in your life, female, male. Energetically, I'm seeing it as a female energy stepping forward. Earthly expression is least of my concern. Okay, and if I may, there's like 2 of them. Or maybe these are different people, already parts of your past. I feel like they're just very different. Like one is money oriented, another one might be very religious or spiritual oriented. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right, swimming through the void. I am back down to where I feel like I'm in a dragon's lair. Honestly, I've taken up so much of your time, but I'm so grateful. Please continue doing what you do. And hopefully this has inspired you at least, or entertained you for a little while. But I'm down here at the very bottom, and I'm in a dragon's lair. And this dragon is like again, the petal, the softness of the velvet hasn't left. It is like, it's still there in the ink blot, the safety and security of the sacred fire, which I still like. I keep coming into like the sovereignty of it all, the sovereignty of the sacred primal fire of oneself. That's how I'm feeling when I'm in this. There is another one there. And I see at least two to three children. Or it could even be like two children plus like a stepchild, or adopted. Maybe you're adopted. Maybe here goes to the loneliness. Namia. Isn't that interesting? Give me 2 shakes here where we're closing out. Acceptance. Oh, that's fantastic. And compassion. On the bottom is resilience. I have no idea what sign you are. There's that mermaid, scaly feel again, but in a different way. You're resilient. It's like somebody tried to turn you into stone, Medusa style. It didn't work. Okay, so I want to come on down here in this dragon's lair. You also have like a massive spider that protects the web that you are weaving. Okay, so it's almost like if I was back at the tower, your apartment building of all that is and ever will be, but always being added to. There's a show I just saw. Anyway, it's like there's a spell around it, so it can't be impeded upon in this energy empire, if I may. I don't know if you have Taurus and or Capricorn in your chart, but that's definitely kicking around here. With this dragon layer is definitely giving off quote unquote devil vibes in a harsh way. But you also have the Mentor here, the Mentor of compassion, just that bull strength, very much so protecting what you care about. I feel like at some point in time, even when you were amongst people, you were very, very lonely. There's a particular acceptance that came through, like being on the stairs, remember, halfway, and see how in this card, if it'll come through, the face is like has black eyes. Yeah, like almost turning skeleton, like you made choices and you accepted what had been done, what choices were made, and moved forward. Because even when you're around particular people, at some point in time, maybe in the Shadowlands of the Lotus, I don't know, could be something totally different, you still felt lonely. Certain people were shrouded as well, like they might have been light beings, with like the white around them, and you're like, but they were really hiding something else. They were actually really dark, and you felt lonely around them. And then on the other hand, because this is how many aspects I feel like I have going on, that there are spirits around you that watch, not only watch you like through, but I mean like watch you wherever you live, because I feel like there's been some sort of destruction, or there's I don't want to be dramatic and say like despair, but I just feel like there's a particular amount of like desolate. Is it desolate? I'm not really sure. Maybe not directly where you are, but like if you wander out, it's like I can, back in my day, this was, roaring with life, and now it's not. You know what I mean? So there might be spirits residing in those afterthoughts of landscapes that understand, again, where your attention goes, healing goes as well. So, all right. I'm going to leave that there. You have been such a joy to read for. I am so grateful you have been my muse. Again, if you want to take a snapshot, if you want to reach out, I'll put all my information below. And again, thank you so much.